JP Morgan has reacted, of course, to the breaking news from yesterday that we took on the shakeup at the Nnpc by President Tinubu, removing the group chief executive officer and dissolving the board, and also the Central Bank of Nigeria revealing its net FX reserve. So they highlighted that. They talked about a bit a market-friendly approach, saying the Nnpc shakeup is positive for oil reform, and they maintain a bullish stance on Nigeria as part of their emerging market coverage. Also in the news, had to make a correction to BOA Foods sugar outputs with respect to the revenues. We made a mistake yesterday saying it was about 400 billion. I think we're looking at the company level. At the group level, it's actually 734 billion. And that's a very important correction to make because of the competition in the sugar space with Dangote Sugar. So just to put it out there, and our analysts did note this yesterday, that BOA Foods revenue finally did overtake Dangote Sugar for 2024, 734 billion to 665. So competition everywhere. And then, over in the banking sector, Fidelity Bank, the FUGAZ versus FUFGAZ debates. Fidelity Bank, of course, very healthy earnings for 2024. We're glad we have a RISE business analyst, Chika Mbonu, to chime in on the debates. Well, Chika, good morning to you. Thanks for joining us. Before we get in, I do want, because look, thank you for being able to join us yesterday and not leaving a hole in our broadcasting. Your reaction to what you saw with traffic and everything in Lagos?
Let me start, by saying that nobody wants any bridge to collapse in Nigeria.
Right.
And if the Independence Bridge is weak, it needs to be fixed, it needs to be repaired, it needs to be shored up. And from little engineering I read, I know that that's very important.
Yeah.
So that needs to be done. It has to be done. But the thing is that, from also my knowledge, things like this are not done anyhow.
Right.
Now, that bridge, if you understand Lagos properly, is actually the major link between the island, Lagos Island as old island as we know it,
yes,
and the Victoria Island. So it's a massive bridge. In places where things will work, mark my word, where things will work, a simulation would have been done to get the impact of this closure on the overall Lagos traffic network.
Yeah.
And because Lagos is already choked up, and that's what would have happened. And this would have been avoided. Not somebody in the Federal Ministry of Works typing something on an old typewriter and then just closure on the bridge and then coming to apologize a day after. This would have been prevented. And Nigeria is a country that time doesn't matter. You can imagine the amount of GDP that would have lost yesterday.
Yeah.
Apart from that, human life. What of human life?
Yeah.
Pregnant women who are rushing to hospital, children who are sick, people with medical emergencies, and so on and so forth. They're rushing to airport, catch a flight. It's just a plethora of, consequences.
Yeah.
Let's just plan better. And, these things are very simple. All these people who work for us, when they go abroad, they see how these things are done.
Exactly.
When they come over here, they just become anyhow. And then the Minister for Works is coming now, the next, it's just all scattered. But it's symptomatic.
Yeah.
Or the kind of country that we live in. Exactly. And I was going to ask you, Rotus, have you seen our senators? I saw the House, the Brazil people, Parliament debating the
Trump tariff and the passing the bill.
Our own, have you? I'm sure have they done it? I've been out of circulation.
No response.
The 14%. Maybe I'm sure there are more important things to discuss now. Let me just keep my mouth shut. Before you will just attack me.
Chika is going after the house already.
No. But these are very important issues.
It is. Thank you for sharing your thoughts there. Chika, you will talk about JP Morgan, yes.
See, to belong to the Committee of Nations, you must have certain behavior, certain lifestyle. It's like the story of about somebody invited people for a wedding, and then there was somebody, when they came in, they saw somebody without a wedding garment. And he had to throw the person out. Nigeria used to be that individual that didn't have a wedding garment.
Right.
At the time, remember, all the democracies would be there, and our leaders would come in military uniform, and they just be out of place. Thank God that has been resolved.
Yeah.
The same thing with the key elements of the economy, the central bank, the oil industry, they have lacked transparency and predictability. So people like JP Morgan, when they're doing their models, You know, all these people thrive on models. What can happen in the forward plan?
Yes.
So you're asking yourself, what can happen? What will happen in 2025, 2026, 2027, and 2030? And Nigeria was just a black box for them. You know, but when you have, the kind of transparency that we have in Central Bank of Nigeria now, and what's happening in Nnpc, as I spoke about yesterday, optimistically, that as far as the government gives them, let them just eliminate the political issues and let the technocrats at the board level and management level do their work, we'll have a new paradigm, a new direction in our industry. And that's what JP Morgan is speaking onto, that these things are very positive. And so when we go to the Committee of Nations again, we won't be like the person that doesn't have the wedding garment.
Right.
And this has become more predictable. And if anybody is going there now to go and ask for loans or ask for transactions or whatever, people will tend to listen to them. If a CBN goes there to talk, people tend to listen to them. Like this country, they're very serious people. Yeah. Not just a black box that nobody can predict what's happening there. Remember we talked about, we are pro-market, I'm pro-market like you.
Of course.
We had nothing. As we said in this program, that whether it's P2B or Atiku, or even Kwakwanso, or that one, believed that they couldn't survive without removing subsidy. Right. I thought about it 3 years ago. We were a broke country.
Of course.
FX subsidy had to go.
Yep.
Now, but our complaint has been how it has been managed. And the consequences thereon. And road is like, I don't, before they tag and say we're doing politics, we're not doing politics here. The example I give to you, one of the things people are complaining about is the fact that you come to the house and say, oh, we're suffering. Let's starve. We'll eat our soup without meat for the next 1 month just to survive. And then we say, okay, no problem, sir, we'll do that, we'll go with you. And then we'll turn around and see your own plate, about 20 pieces of meat, chicken, bokoto, roundabout, junction, everything that is there. Yeah. Those are the kind of things that people complain about. Right. And the lack of transparency. The government says that, one of the things the federal government is saying that the states have got a lot of money in their hands now. Yeah. But what's happening in the states? Exactly. We see here about salaries owed, pension owed. Yep. It's not as if they rose, nothing major has happened in those states. Yeah. And so what is the accountability levels? I've pressed the people of Lagos State here and said, at least the two dividends of democracy include the red line and the blue line. Yeah. Yeah. And a lot of states need to do that. And so that's basically what it is. And JP Morgan is right. There's more transparency. Once there's more transparency, things are more predictable. And the economy will thrive in the long term. Yeah. And so that you have this input, that the output is predictable. Yeah. But before, it's just a black box.
Since we're talking CBN transparency, CBN regulates the banks. Let's go to the banks now. I wanted you to talk about this yesterday, but we ran out of time. Yes, Fidelity Bank. Where do you stand on this? Maybe you give me a background on this FUGAZ.
Let me put it this way. Yeah. For the 30, 31, 32 banks in Nigeria, deposit money banks in Nigeria, we can roughly classify them into 3 groups. They're about the tier 1 banks. There are about 5 of them now. We can call the names. So their first names are used to form the word FUGAZ. Yeah. Now, for our viewers, the F there represents First Bank. Yep. The U there represents UBA. Yep. The G there represents Guaranty Trust Bank. Yep. And then the A represents Access Bank. That's right. And the Z represents Zenith Bank. Right. So that's the FUGAZ. Yes. FUGAZ. Yeah. So that's the first top 5 banks. Then you have the tier 2 banks in Nigeria, and you have a couple of them there. Fidelity is there, FCMB is there, Sterling is there. I think Wema is also there, and a couple of other sprinkles of them. And then you have most of the ones are entire 3 banks. Right. Let me not mention the names here. It's like in those schools, those times in school, they say after calling 1, 2, 3, they say, and the following people also passed. So let's leave them. But they are fully licensed banks. Yeah. Now, so I'm a student of strategy. Of course. And I love people who have strategic intent. Now, I think 5 years ago, when Fidelity Bank did a strategy, and they said, at the end of this strategic time period.
Yeah.
Our objective is that we want to limp into the tier one, the FUGAZ. And and that's the striving, making sure, pushing everything to that. Even when the button changed, the lady Onyalike, and you will see that it's like she took the baton
and just raced
and
off.
Just and even if they had any gaps, she just started resting on. And many things have happened in the bank. 2024 has been a very good year for the bank.
Yeah.
More than 210% growth on PBT year on year. And I think for the figures we have seen so far, that's the number one in the banking industry.
Yes.
Year on year.
Correct.
Year on year. Printing at about 386 billion. The thing about their profit also is not just you can tie it to one end. It's the real core banking.
Right.
Real core banking.
Yeah.
The financial intermediation, the fees, the transaction income, and so on and so forth. And that has grown. Deposit bed has grown. Total asset of almost about 9 trillion. And that's the thing. Now, among the FUGAZ, the smallest there is about 14 trillion.
Right. So that's the other argument.
Right. Now, market cap. Among the FUGAZ, I think the smallest there is about 1.01 trillion.
Right.
The last, as at today, I think the market cap for Fidelity Bank is 957 billion.
So they're almost there. 1 trillion.
They're almost there. They're almost there.
Yeah.
So again, national, international licensing.
Yeah.
They are there. They have long operation now, and with this, they are aiming for the 500 billion capital.
Right.
Now, this is why I commend them also, because they had a first mover advantage, but people like us had some palpitation, because remember before then, Nigerian companies have not done even initial public offerings or other right to. Everybody doing right issues.
Yes.
They haven't done other issues there, and so wondering how would the market respond to Fidelity Bank, because they were in a combo of the right issues and the normal issues. But look at what happened.
Stock price.
They oversubscribed.
Yeah.
The right issue was oversubscribed. Yeah. Their normal issues was oversubscribed. And that gave the confidence to a lot of other banks to come into the play.
Right.
And that happened. Stock price before the right issue was about 9.75 naira.
Yeah.
Today is about 19 naira.
Yeah. Big jump.
So on most parameters,
they will qualify.
They're there. So Fidelity is making the play that FUGAZ, we should smuggle in another F to make it FUFGAZ. Well, the jury's out there, and then we'll continue to look at, as they're pushing. Yeah. It's the same when your AC is cooling. You don't do like this.
Yes, exactly.
The system will, it's not my fault. The system will literally push them in there. Yeah. As Madam Iqbal is pushing the frontiers, growing the bank on all fronts, and making more profit, and making the shareholders happy. Yeah, exactly. The shareholders at AGM will say, no, we must be FUFGAZ now.
Exactly. Can you imagine?
And that's how it will happen.
We'll see how it goes. Thank you for the analysis.
Thank you.
As always, Arise Business Analyst Chika Mbonu. Appreciate your time.